you, Buck. Hi, I'm Bliss Lansing, founder of Health Bliss. We make it easier to test for strep throat by eliminating the need to see a doctor. At one point or another, this was your throat. Everybody here has dealt with this unpleasant feeling because strep throat is one of the most common causes of throat infections. And it's one of the main reasons why people go to the doctors. Whether you're the patient with the sore throat or the clinician diagnosing the problem, this process is a pain. Patients have to travel miles to get to the doctor's office, and then they spend 20 or more minutes waiting to see a physician. Once your name is finally called, a nurse begins the lengthy and tedious process of testing for strep. She will swab your throat and carry the sample to a clean lab space where she will begin measuring, pouring, mixing, swirling, dipping, squeezing, and waiting. 10 minutes or so later, she emerges with your fate. Popsicles and throat lozenges, or a round of antibiotics. If you're lucky, this experience of scheduling, driving, waiting, and sharing germs ends with an expensive copay fee. And every year, over 17 million people go through this ridiculous process to seek care for a sore throat. That translates into an incredible amount of time wasted unnecessarily by both you and the provider. But that's not the only thing that's wasted. In addition to time, these uncomfortable visits are expensive. Patients are tested in clinics, doctor's offices, and hospital emergency rooms. And the cost to be tested at these locations ranges from $90 at a clinic to $120 if you go and see your physician. But for people who do not have insurance or a primary care physician, they end up going to hospitals and being tested for over $530. That means Americans spend $2 billion a year testing for strep throat. Not anymore. Health Bliss has revolutionized how strep throat is detected by eliminating the need to see a doctor and all the stress that goes with it. Strep Test Anywhere is a portable, self-contained device that allows clinicians to test patients faster, cheaper, and more conveniently at local pharmacies. Our product can also be used in school nurse offices, church and community health centers, mobile clinics, and remote military bases. Strep Test Anywhere is the ultimate point-of-care solution because its benefits spread across the healthcare chain, from patients to providers and ultimately payers and insurance groups. The current method to diagnose strep is a rapid antigen detection test. These tests come in the form of kits. Each kit contains bottles of chemical reagents, swabs, strips, tubes, and more. In comparison, we offer a simple, easy-to-operate, self-contained solution. Strep Test Anywhere makes it possible to test patients anywhere, which means they no longer have to go to hospitals and doctor offices and wait up to and sometimes over an hour before being seen. With Strep Test Anywhere, patients can expect to be seen by pharmacists in under 5 minutes. Not to mention, in addition to time, patients are spared from exposure to other germs. Because if you don't have strep, the last thing you want is to pick up the flu from the waiting room. Our product doesn't just save patients time, it saves providers time. In order to test for strep using a kit, a clinician must transfer the sample, unwrap individually packaged materials, and carefully handle chemicals and samples. This process takes 10 minutes of hands-on time. But with Strep Test Anywhere, clinicians can test patients in under 30 seconds. This is an incredible time saver. It's also what makes our device the only one that's appropriate for use by pharmacists, because our hands-on time is comparable to administering a flu shot. And Unlike the competition, our test is the only one capable of being administered anywhere on site without a lab. So while it is the superior method for clinicians everywhere, it really is the only suitable solution for pharmacists. Lastly, the cost to be tested at hospitals and doctors' offices ranges from $120 to well over $500. But with Strep Test Anywhere, you pay just $30. Another great benefit of our product is that we are a Class 1 device, which means we can bring these benefits to you soon because we have a clear regulatory path to market. We are a diagnostic device, so we will perform a 300-person clinical trial to demonstrate our device is accurate and reliable. We will then submit a 510(k) application. Upon receiving clearance, Health and Bliss will pursue definable market segments. Specifically, we will target drug and grocery stores whose pharmacies do not have full-service clinics. First, we will establish relationships with secondary distributors that supply independent pharmacies. Then, we will look to the nearly 11,000 grocery store chains and 15,000 CVS and Walgreens locations. To reach these retailers, we will promote our product among primary wholesalers. Next, we will pursue the primary care market because our device falls under an existing CPT code, which means there's an established reimbursement model in place that applies to Strep Test Anywhere in clinical settings. So, when we sell our device to pharmacies in the state of Tennessee, which is approximately 330 stores, and each store conducts 2 tests a day for the 6-month duration of strep season, which is 360 tests, we generate $3.5 million. This is impressive, and it's important to remember that there are, in fact, 33,000 stores across the country. That's over $350 million in sales each year based on only 2 tests a day. This is a great business to be in. As you can see, we're very excited about this, and I'd like to introduce you to the very passionate and talented team bringing this idea to the market. I'm Bliss Lansing. I'm the founder of Health and Bliss. My background is in health promotion and business marketing. I also plan to have children one day, and I don't want to have to drag all of them to the doctor's office because one of them is complaining of a sore throat. Chase Lansing is the company's co-founder. His expertise is in sales and distribution. He personally generates $4 million in sales each year. He is a top-performing manager and leader in his family business, which is the largest privately held wholesale distribution company in the exterior buildings product industry. So he has vast experience in supply chain management. Adam Rose is our director of product development. Adam is a lead accredited professional with years of experience developing projects for notable organizations such as the CIA, DoD, and NASA. His work can be seen at trauma surgical centers and medical centers in the US and abroad in Iraq and Afghanistan. Patrick Hanlon is the finance manager. He is a tax associate in public accounting and consultant to privately held businesses. Over the course of his career, he has served as a corporate controller, managed taxes, and advised businesses ranging from early stage to larger corporations with over $15 million in sales. Thanks to this dynamic team and the ecosystem of support the ZeroTo510 and Memphis community provided, we have been able to rapidly grow our rapid strep test business. Over the last 90 days, we filed a utility patent, and we've included method claims in this patent because we are actually changing how to diagnose strep. We filed an international application and registered our trademark. We finalized our design. We have a functional product with materials that have been sourced and are FDA compliant. We've collected preclinical lab data and tested for efficacy. We've completed our manufacturing drawings and identified a manufacturer to partner with. We've defined our distribution channels and established relationships with key players to reach consumers. In fact, I'm excited to announce that by doing so, we not only found customers interested in purchasing our product once it's cleared, but they are willing and prepared to purchase our entire first year of inventory. It's exciting to see the demand for our product, but what's really great is that by working with just these few customers, gives Health and Bliss access to an extensive network and the opportunity to supply over 4,000 pharmacies across the country. That's a market reach of $38 million as we start our business. We were excited to accomplish each of these milestones, but more importantly, we are prepared to move forward. We are seeking $2.5 million in order to obtain our FDA clearance, enter the market, and cover the cost of our first year of operations. We are confident we can do this in time to save you from the stress of next year's strep season. After our first year of sales, we will be a cash flow business capable of sustaining our own growth. When I first had this idea, I went out to validate it. I wanted to know what experts thought about the current system and what they thought about our proposed solution. And they acknowledged anything that moves care out of high-priced real estate locations is a winner. And we agree, but we didn't just ask the experts, because after all, our product is for you. So we asked you, hundreds of you, and inevitably, you said the same thing. I'm Bliss Lansing. I'm happy to report that Health and Bliss has heard you. We are ready to serve you by not only making it easier to test for strep throat, but by making your life easier. Thank you.